There we go.
There it is.
Hey, good evening. Oh, error occurred on Facebook. That's all right. There we go. We'll go live on that. Hey, everybody. Good evening. It's Dave Wilson, Results Staffing. And I'll tell you what, if you want to tune in for a great show tonight, I had to reach out to Thurston, and you're going to see why. And we're going to do some talking here, some ideas, but we'll be right back after this. How you like that for $23, man?
Hey, man, I love your intro. I actually like it more than Paul Kopp's because it's spacey and techy. I love it.
$13 to make it. Then I tip the guy from Fever app. I have so many every day. I love it. Those guys are fantastic.
That's the way to roll.
And that's marketing 101, man. I don't do $17. I tip them, and then they give me free stuff.
I'm all for that because I bought my website for $100 a year.
Right.
And I built it all myself. It's a Wix, it's a Wix website, but I did it all myself. So I know what that's like.
Awesome. Well, you've heard Janie on the shows because Thurston, I know you've chimed in on my shows. Here's Janie. She's from Australia. She's having problems still finding a job. I know, Janie, you're going to say one of these nights, it's tonight, And then we have.
I remember you from one of his other shows.
Yeah. And then we got Bob. Come on, Bob. I'm hoping you got that job. Yeah. Bob's been the one. He has been following what I've asked him, has said he's putting his resume on LinkedIn. He's tagging every person, every company. And then I've been sharing it and he's been sharing it. It's going to work.
That's good. Absolutely.
What do you have to lose when you tag? If you're looking for Pepsi,
just keep shooting that positivity and those connections in there. It'll happen.
It'll happen. And then we have, here's my other special, Tuvia from Florida. Everybody knows Tuvia. He's the mastermind of What's Up app. The What's Up.
That's a cool name, Tuvia. I like that.
Tuvia, yeah. It's his real name too. I always say, don't joking around. But now they're all just saying hello to everybody. But tonight, everybody, I reached out to Thurston because I watched his video. And I'll tell you what, he was having a bad day, I think. And if you watch it,
was earlier today.
Yeah, and I watched it, and I was like, you know what? I got to message him. I watched it 2 or 3 times because it felt like me sometimes. Look at the smile. And I reached out to you, and you said you were like, yes, right away. You were in that mode.
It's been a bad day right up until I sent that post out, and you replied, and you said, you're going to be on my show tonight. And I'm like, yes, my day has just turned around.
And, you're located in Nebraska. We're going to put that out there. And you're the owner and CEO of Titania Ceramics. Yep. So I'm going to let you introduce yourself to everybody and what you do. And then we're going to deep dive into why we're really here.
Cool. My name's Thurston Baker, and I run my own pottery business. I make everything from the ground up, everything but the clay. I do all the marketing, all the sales, all the advertisement, all that stuff, all the virtual things. I've paid for a little bit of coaching and things like that for the virtual side, but the other side I just learned through high school, and I've been doing it for 11 years part-time. I had a full-time job up until last April of 2020, and I had all my shows set up for the year, and COVID came. I quit my job, my 40-hour job, because I had everything set up for glory, and it would have been, except for the COVID came, and then all my shows dropped off. So I had to backtrack to Farmers Market here in Lincoln on Saturdays. It's just a 4-hour period every Saturday, and it got me through. Let's put it that way. It got me through, but it got me to the point at about the beginning of October where I'm like, I'm gonna have to do something else because the shows are not coming, and so the Farmers Market ends in October. So I pivoted at that time to trying to go virtual.
And how'd that go for you? how do you feel? I mean,
It's
let's now
slow
deep dive
going,
into your
but
video. Let's deep
it's
dive
slow
into
going. I
what you
mean, it
said.
gave me time to go on my Wix website, get all of my products on there for sale, and then do my best to get into video podcasting. I got a coach. His name's Paul Rogers. He was my voice coach for about 6 weeks. We just completed last week, and I'm ready to go virtual to tell everybody about myself and how it connects to what I make.
Wow. I was trying to reach my kids on how to make pottery. And he even says, look at that. He has a pottery wheel in his garage.
Yeah. A lot of people have like old kilns or potter wheels because they had the idea they were going to do it at one time.
That's what I mean. And the reason when I watched your video is because it relates to me sometimes being an entrepreneur, you know, and starting that business, and you worked full time plus did your gig here, and you got to that point where we're
similar that way.
You were made to it. You know, mine were just different, but now I felt your pain that video, because you were just like, nope, you just didn't.
I was so frustrated earlier today, man.
And how do you feel that you just posted it on there? I'm going to put it on there, right?
Yeah, I was thinking about it, and you know, like I've kind of calmed down now. I think I'm going to tell everybody about this, because there's got to be somebody out there that is feeling the same way. And damn, if it isn't somebody I already know.
And that's why.
And you've seen me chime in on your shows on is Friday nights? When is that?
Fridays and Saturday. I'm all over the place.
Okay. Yeah, I chimed in a lot, and a lot of things I had to say, you were like, oh man, he's saying it exactly the way it is. I'm like, I don't sugarcoat nothing, man. Sometimes my point blank honesty really like puts people off. You know, they're like, I don't know if I trust this guy or something.
Well, that's why everybody knows, you know, Bob and Janie and Tuvi here too, and a lot of people watching is when you said, Dave, sometimes you look like you're beating yourself up tonight when we talked. And I'm like, oh, wow, you really know. You really, because you did come in across.
Totally. Because we're both very hard on ourselves. When we look at each other in the mirror, we're our own worst enemies.
Yeah, because I'll tell you what, when you said that about me, and then I was like, whoa, I was like, but I enjoyed our talk prior to this because we talked for like 30 minutes. And I asked you even, I said, Thurston, you know, with everything going on and, you know, you lost here, being honest, you got to give an answer. Like, what is being honest at a company, being honest with yourself as an entrepreneur, you know? Let's see. I've been approached by Connection from Nebraska to sell Plexus. What's that, Janie? Do you know? And then, Dave doesn't sleep. And then we have, Julian Philson. I believe I just added him. I just connected with him.
Awesome.
I think
he's already wanting to be on your show, man.
Oh, is he? All right. So you know him.
He's saying, hey.
Oh, okay. All right. Hi, Julian. Look, see, Janie's awesome. She'll go after everybody.
And okay, we'll try this one day. We'll try this again. And what does truth do for you?
Sets you free.
Yeah, it is. There it is. Yes.
Well, we've talked about. You were the first one. I'm telling you that your wording, and I even told you the way you put it. Now, sometimes comes across negative, just like me, you know.
Yeah, probably.
But I was either drawn to it, or because you would always come on and say that. I was like, wow, he seems mad when you first started coming on. But I
was just kind of sad and frustrated.
And explain to me, I'm sorry, I know we're here for that show too, but explain to me how the corporate world has changed your life and what you do now also as an entrepreneur and why. I think that's a good story.
I've been an entrepreneur, I think, since I was like 10 years old. I sold golf balls we had a house that was right next to a golf course. And I was out there selling lemonades, and the golf balls that they hit into my yard, back to them.
Sweet. Hey, Tuvi, you're in Florida.
Yeah, there was a bunch of times that they would come up and they'd be like, you know how I know this is my ball? Because it's got my name on it. And I was like, well, that's 25 cents, sir. So obviously you lost your ball. So if you want it back, it's going to be a quarter.
Oh, my God. That's awesome. I mean, I would do that now. I think Tuvia, he's in Florida. He would be good at that. I mean, there's got to be a lot of golf.
And then, as the years went on, I mean, I worked for Perkins for like 5 years. I was a cook for 14 years of my life. I've been a driver for 10 years of my life, and I've cleaned for 5 years of my life. So I'm a what they would call us, not, what do they call that? Not a specialist. I'm a master in all three of those fields because I have more than 10,000 hours.
Wow.
Plus, I am a master at ceramics and pottery and art because I've done that well over 10,000 hours. But the fact of the matter is, as time went on, I watched the corporate world change. I worked for a corporation. They were called Perkins. I was just a cook there. And then I moved up to, like, you know, shift manager and assistant kitchen manager or something was the highest I went at, like, I don't know, 20 years old, 21 years old. But I cooked for another many years after that. And I watched the corporate world change. Yeah. It used to be like, if you had a good couple months and you were really in the zone at what you did, your manager would come up to you and be like, hey man, we noticed you have a fantastic attitude. You've been doing a terrific job for us. You made us a lot of money. You know what? You're going to be our new kitchen manager next week, because the guy that is here now, and you know who he is, you work for him, isn't pulling his weight. So we're having to let him go next week. But the week after that, you will be the new kitchen manager here. They used to do things like that. Yeah. You could just be walking down the street and you would do something nice for an old lady and walk her across the street and somebody would offer you a job. Now you have to, like, get out a sledgehammer and frickin' hammer up sidewalk just to frickin' get a part-time crap job.
Janie, you're definitely going to want to connect with Thurston, and maybe you have to, because Janie,
I watched it happen. I noticed it, and those managers weren't coming to me anymore. And I had the same attitude, and I was working twice as hard as I ever did before, and they never did that.
And that's what I like, your attitude, because you made my night just by talking that 30 minutes prior to this. I'm telling you, because
cool, thanks, man. I appreciate that.
It was because I liked how you said yes right away. Some people, when I say you want to come on the show, they're like, when? Next week? You want to know what we're going to talk about? No, man, let's do it.
I wanted it to be in 5 minutes.
Yeah, you were like, hell yeah. And I was like, yeah, but I had asked you a couple times about being yourself for what you're going through and what's happening right now.
What you see is what you get, baby.
But how do you feel what is your goal to try to make it through this? Are you trying to, because that's a hard thing for yours. Mine isn't an online business in a way now, but you're selling something. So how do you think you can overcome all those years of what you've done?
Well, I'm hoping that in the spring, the cities, governments of our fine country start saying it's okay to have these shows again, because it's all up to the leaders of our country, for my business anyway. Yeah. The mayors and the different peoples that are heads of these chambers of commerce that are in these small towns need to say, sort of, okay, we know COVID is still present, but we've got to have these people come and show, or our town's people are going to lose interest in our town.
Yeah, I didn't think about
that. And I hope they all come back, because that's the bread and butter of my business, is going around the Midwest and selling under a tent. People have been to them. They've been to fine art shows and different shows that are at farmers markets and stuff. That's me.
Things are very
true. And they wiped all that out, and so in October I had to pivot and okay, I better learn about LinkedIn. So I talked to Danielle Mills. She's an ex-pro tennis player that lives down in Florida. She did one coaching session with me, and then I bought her book, read her book, and upped my LinkedIn knowledge. Secondly, I figured out, Paul Kopp asked me to be on his show. And I'm like, I did pretty good at that. I went through pre-production and everything for a week. And then I was like, you know what? I think I'm pretty good at this. And Paul says I'm pretty good at this. And then that's where I met Paul Rogers, that became my voice branding coach.
So what do you mean by voice branding? Let me answer this. I want to say, things are very differently these days. Yes, Julian. And definitely that's why this guy's so interesting to me right now. He's made my night, and Janie wants to connect with you, Thurston. She's awesome.
Sure. Absolutely. Send the connection request. Absolutely.
There you go. Every Sunday there's a farmer bar. Oh, Tuvia, come on. He's not going to. Well, he might go to Florida. It's cheap to fly. It's cheap.
See? Well, frankly, the fact of the matter is, I want to live in a city that's like that. I was just in New Orleans for my birthday on the 9th of December, and they're able to sell right downtown next to Jackson Square every day. Every day.
Every day.
I was like, that's not offered in our city. We only get it on Saturdays for 4 hours. This guy's got the ability to pay the city, like, I don't know, $30 a day or something like that, and he turns over 400 to 4,000 a day.
So then, wow. Before I forget this thought, what is a voice maker, like coach?
Okay.
What is that? I don't.
Well, everyone has a voice. Everyone has that personality within them that they're afraid to let everyone know exists. And that's the truthful, wonderful person that's within you. If you look within, you'll find him or her. You'll find it. You'll find that spirit within you. And he just, he got me doing videos of myself. He started with 1 minute, and then we went to 3 minutes, and then I had to focus in on a 2-minute session to have my story be solid on why I get up every day and why I do what I do. And so it got me through all the nervousness, and it got me through all the, oh, this is dumb. This isn't going to do anything. I got me through the negative. And, it got my voice out. And that's what I'm giving you tonight.
Oh, so giving your voice out in public, not just your inner, like.
Correct. But most people hide their inner voice, just like you were talking about earlier in pre-production. You said, I never wanted to, I could never say that to my boss until I quit. It's that. People can't be afraid to say what they truly feel. Never be afraid to do that.
Tuvia has a question for you.
Oh, my name's Thurston Baker.
Oh, okay. There it is. Tuvia, unless he was talking about, we'll see. I think Tuvia is asking somebody, maybe said a name. But
Paul Rogers. He's phenomenal. Paul Rogers is my voice coach.
Okay.
He lives in Quebec, Canada. He's phenomenal.
And it's all virtual?
He's an ex-Brit. He grew up and he was a lawyer in London. And then he said, F all that stuff. He realized he'd become not so great a person being a lawyer. And he realized he was just not being as truthful as he wanted to be. So he left being a lawyer completely and went down and taught windsurfing down in like the Caribbean. And then when that ended, he moved to Canada with it. And, he got married, and his life is just amazing.
He's tame. And he got your name now, Tuvia. But we also talked what I liked, and I was telling you about myself that some people might know or not know why I wore a black bandana 2 months ago over my head. And I told you tonight that I was doing kindergarten and first grade handwriting. And you were like, what? Well, when I had the injury and I fell off, rolled down a hill, walked off a cliff, laid out dead 2.5 months ago, 25 firefighters taking me up. I was out. Thank God for the cell buds. I never used, and then guess what? I forgot to tell you, I have it on video. I must have pushed the video button. So it was rolling. You hear my voice. You hear me grab. So they pinged it.
They could probably even hear your noggin hit the boulder.
No, all I remember is like a fuzzy. And then I remember getting in when they put me in the chop helicopter, I started to come through. I felt like a cold feeling. It was a cold feeling. And then I felt it running up to my body.
That's your body in shock.
Yeah. And, they talked to me, have you ever been on a helicopter? I remember that. And I said, well, in the military. And, they sewed it up. I told you sometimes the only things I struggle with now is like all the twitching's going, all the short-term memory, 3 to 5 minutes, maybe sometimes,
all I have to say, the people that are watching, you survive cancer, will survive that.
Yeah, because I look at different things because the handwriting, I'm just doing that on my own because I know I have to do it. My handwriting it just went away. I feel like,
David,
but it took a struggle then starting doing the shows. And I appreciate what you said about that. And like you said, it's a story. Yeah.
It's a phenomenal story.
Can you imagine posting that video on LinkedIn of me rolling? You literally hear me going, and
it's a story of like retribution and
I would have been
just all that stuff.
10 to 15 more minutes. All I found
redemption. That's what I was thinking. Not retribution, redemption. You got a shot at redemption.
Yeah, my wife found, if it wasn't for my wife being home and 911 getting a hold of them saying, "Where is your husband?" She knew. I called it Stone World. She kind of knew. But if those earbuds would have went off that phone, I've been dead. There was nobody who would have found me.
It may sound not right, but
Yeah.
I'm glad that happened to you, because I think it's going to make the rest of your life more amazing than you'll ever realize. You know, it's like that time on Star Wars when Obi-Wan gets cut down and he says, "I'll come back stronger than you'll possibly imagine."
Well, that's why you do, because you struggle with yourself. And that's why Janie, she wants to be saying, I wore a black thing over my head and I continue to do shows, and people were probably like, "What's he wearing on his head?" But I didn't want to stop.
He's an ex-biker.
I was like, yeah, motorcycle. I should have put on Thorogood, George Thorogood or something. But what I also want to ask you is, where do you foresee Thurston going now? Like, I know it's hard to plan, but you still have to set a goal. Are you going to go back to work and then still try to do what you do? Or
I've been very torn up about that today.
I could tell.
I wanted to go look for shows today, but I couldn't even get up the energy to go do that. I felt so down that I'm just like, I don't know if I can deal with that disappointment today if I find out that the shows are all still closed through the spring. So I'm leaving that one up to tomorrow. And then if there aren't any and I can't find any, then the day after that, I'm going to start looking for jobs maybe. But what my hope is that there are some here and there, enough to keep me happy and my wife happy, because believe me, my wife plays a big part in this. She's already tired of me sitting around all day, not really doing a whole lot, because I built my inventory in the studio up by like 1,000 pieces.
Do you have a website that you can say now what it is, and then we'll put it on here for you too? But where would
absolutely.
they go?
It's titaniaceramics.com.
All right, we'll put that on. Oh, right there it is. Titanics. Well, that's LinkedIn, but We'll put that on there.
Yeah, titaniaceramics.com, because Titania Ceramics is the name of my business.
Okay, you can write that.
It's just those two words jammed together.com.
All right, post it on the comments right there. That'll stay right in there. So, but when I look at your background, it's so diverse, and I can't only imagine. Like, I've told people, the reason I think you resonated with me also is because I had a DJ business of 26 years and it's gone. I mean, well, not gone, but it all went away, lost so much, and I don't know when it's coming back. So I think
it's going to come back, man. Don't let that dream die.
Yeah, because you do something for so long.
I let my dream die up until 11 years ago, until I said I got laid off from a very corporate job. Yeah. And that's a story. My boss and I didn't get along very well, kind of like the boss you were talking about. Okay.
Yeah, everybody knows that. There we go. Go ahead.
My boss lost all the city accounts. I was area manager for a cleaning company, and we did all like commercial cleaning.
Right.
And he came in, he leaned on the door of my office after he lost all the city accounts, and he lost the city accounts. I didn't. And he says, "Well, you know what, Thurston? I think we're going to have to lay off." And I like jumped out of my desk and I was like, "You're kidding. I have a box in the car. I'll go get it and put my stuff in it. When's my last check come?" I like bolted out that door. I was so excited to be laid off. I did a jig when I got home.
Wow, just even like that. If you had any advice for Janie, and I like the way you represent yourself and the way you talk and your what your advice is. Janie's, even though she's in Australia, that has nothing to do with but finding a job. She is so tired sitting around.
Okay, I'm going to tell you another story, and this leads to you. I envision every single person on the face of this planet like a beautifully decorated Christmas tree. And it's been Christmas recently, with wonderful, amazing gifts below their branches.
Right.
But most never open those gifts. So for most, Christmas never comes.
Say that again.
And so for most, Christmas never comes because they never open up their gifts. They never look within and find their gifts. And Janie has one too, maybe multiple. And that's how I found my talents and my gifts. I think I found them at the age of like 7 to 10 years old. I always knew what I wanted to do. Right. It's like 20 different things. I just had to focus in on what gave me the most good feeling and passion. But
Right.
she's got them inside her too. And then once you find out what that is, by looking within and meditating, go do it. Don't hesitate.
Right.
Start on your road to doing it right now.
That's what
Don't
I
wait
mean.
one single moment. Don't wait one single day.
And there you go, Janie. And that's coming from some good advice there. And like I said, those are the kind of words I told you before when we were talking. I like how you speak, because words, as I've been getting older and I've taken over and started the business, I've learned everything about customer service that I told you, how I wasn't doing it in the past as much. But I think customer service needs to be top priority. And then the wording, the way you word something is where you can sell something and you mean it, like your passion, you know.
It helped me out a lot because I spoke a lot in Alcoholics Anonymous too. I was up on
Right.
stage telling my story, at least my alcoholism story, to other alcoholics, you know, at many,
Right.
many a meeting.
And that's what you said. And that's the honesty, like you said, to be honest about yourself. And I told
Oh,
you,
yeah, it helped me get over my fears of public speaking too.
well, when you said that, I told you that, first of everybody, when I told him that, when he just said about his boss, everybody knows me about my great boss story, but I had to tell him, hey, I texted him to congratulate him. I might have put some words in there, I'm going to tell you, but you know what? You said, David, that's not right. I was like, you're right. You know, it wasn't right. But I couldn't withdraw.
It's all right.
the text. It was all right.
We all make mistakes, man.
I know, but it was a tit for tat, and it just, you know, I was back at that feeling, like you said, maybe when
You know
I
what
was
the
in
real
high school.
humbling thing you could do is?
What's that?
That I had to do when
Say
I
I'm
made
sorry?
my amends? Huh?
Say I'm sorry, or say thank
That's
you.
correct. Meet
Yeah.
with him and ask for his forgiveness for what you
Yeah.
said to him.
Yep, and even that, because I do
Then
go
you
back.
know what? Your side of the street is clean.
That's what I mean, because there's a lot of people in the corporate world, and we had the discussion about being honest. Would you come on here and watch one of our shows, even yourself, anybody on LinkedIn, and would you hire them? So I always think about that in the back of my mind, like, all right, when I go out on the ramp and I start throwing things and but I tell the truth, is that going to make somebody want to hire me? You know, as a corporation going to look
It's
and say,
not.
hey, no,
Not corporate companies.
no.
Nope. Don't go to an interview and tell the truth
No, that's oh jeez.
because they know that when you get on the job, you're going to tell the customers the truth too. And they're terrified of that because they've been lying to their customers for 20 years.
I love when you said that, because you made me feel better. Because well, I
It's
know
the
all the
truth.
companies, and the companies that I do know some great, fantastic companies, but they've been underrated, you know. And reviews are always, you're going to get bad reviews regardless, and that's okay. Just try to follow them, and everybody has something to complain about. But I don't know if I've switched over and I want to tell the truth. I don't.
They're
wanna,
terrified that you're going to tell everybody the truth about their company because they got stuff to hide.
Yeah, because
That's why their bottom line is so high.
I haven't heard that in a while. But no, and that's what it is being honest and being yourself. Because when I wasn't myself doing the videos, even though I've done it for years, in my mind, I'm like, why? I go back and delete the video off of LinkedIn. I went back and deleted. And then I'm like, why? Why? Let people, like Janie says, she likes how we're talking like you're raw, and it's raw and real.
That's me.
Yeah. And I
don't sugarcoat nothing, man. I say it like it is. I keep my heart on my sleeve. Everything.
yeah, because I don't want to say something negative.
I got nothing to hide. I've told everybody everything about me. If anybody has anything, there's no deep dark about me anymore. There's no secrets. I let all my skeletons out of the closet, and the elephant in the room has been talked about thoroughly.
It is. And I told you about, I got a sale today for a consulting job for one day.
Yes.
We'll talk about that. But
Everybody should be clapping right now for the man.
I could not believe that. And I haven't told Janie and Tuvi and all them yet, but I could not believe that from doing the videos all this time. Now it's the first time somebody reached out for my assistance, for just with recruiting. And I was like, wow. Hey, I mean, I'll take it for a day to teach.
Do it.
Knowledge.
Take it for a day, every day of the year.
They're in
Multiply
Nebraska.
that 500 times 365. See what you get.
Yeah, but look at this. I mean, you're in Nebraska, and so is that company today. How does that fall into place, man? How does that fall?
That's how God works, man. That's how God meshes together like a finely tuned watch.
It does. So before we go, though, let's see. I don't sugarcoat anything, but sometimes it backfires. All right, that's your answer, but go.
I got an answer for you, Janie. What other people think of me is none of my business.
What other people think of me is none of my business. All right, wow, that's different. Amen. That's awesome, you know, and that's.
I used to care what they think, and the day I stopped doing that, I was set free.
That's it. So, you know, Thurston, if this was a 30-second elevator speech about your business, this is your time to plug it. You know, plug it in there. Can they go online, your website?
Absolutely. Go to my website. You can buy anything you want. I want to let you know that my About is on there too, so you can learn more about me if you'd like to, that you didn't learn today. My business was started and still is created from the ground up. I make everything but the clay. Everything is handmade. I've got 3 different styles. I make mostly items that are useful but gorgeous. So you get the best of both worlds with my stuff.
Like, what's the most that you sell, or what's your biggest, like, bowls or cups or?
My biggest seller is noodle bowls, Asian bowls. And then I make bigger things too. I'll commission whatever you want.
Right.
But the fact of the matter is, yeah, it's gorgeous stuff. My 3 styles are splash, and then I dip some of it and put designs on it. And then the third is agate ware, which is a mixture of 2 or more clay bodies. So what you're seeing with the swirl pattern that's on the outside of those, that's not just on the outside. That's the clay body itself. It runs through the entire piece. Right. And my energy, and it's one of a kind piece energy, is within each and every piece you buy. So my goal with my business is for you to wake up in the morning, open up your cabinet and say, oh, that's right, I bought one of that guy's pieces. My day is going to be an awesome day.
Well, the next show we do, you're gonna bring some of those pieces up and put them on the show.
I sure can. Absolutely.
We got to show them, because, you know,
I'll come back and be on one of your shows any day. Any day you
put on there and show yourself, show you what you do, and, you know,
even when I'm rich and famous and everybody loves me, I will knock one of those people out so that I can be on your show.
That's awesome. And what's it? Wait here. We'll end it with Janie's. I might have to go at that, Thurston. And she's awesome, you know. And even
Janie, look inside; it's in there.
Yeah,
all your love and your passion and your gifts are lying just within.
That's right. So you know what, everybody, thank you, and Thurston, thank you so much, and everybody for tuning in.
You betcha.
Thurston will put his website on there, even though he said we're going to put it on there. We're going to put all the information for you to reach out. Hey, Nebraska, we're in Pennsylvania, but we're gonna show it next time. So we're gonna.
I'm loving Pennsylvania.
Yeah, that's right. You can be out in there. So
I'm loving Pennsylvania. Just the decision of Pennsylvania was like, yes.
Yeah.
You know which decision I'm talking about.
Yes, very much. So, all right, everybody. I want to thank everybody, and we'll see everybody. Thank you so much, Thurston. It's been great. We went 33 minutes. Awesome show. So
cool.
Have a good night. All right.